class that I took with Peony and Parakeet. Pivy is her name. She's from Denmark, and she's just delightful. She's so sweet and she's so talented, and she has this really awesome technique of just doodling on a page and then figuring out what shapes you can make out of it to make a scene. And that's exactly what I did. You can see probably in the background some of the doodling, but it just gives it such cool, beautiful texture. I am so grateful that I found her on YouTube, and look forward to taking more of her classes. This was one inspired also by her class on Monet, and I particularly like, when I sent her this picture, she sent it back and showed me how Monet had extreme areas of darkness and extreme areas of light in his work, and I was pretty pleased at the way this turned out. This is a couple different spreads. This one was made with deli paper, collage. It was probably mop-up pages, and it was some stenciling and gel pen on top. And then this one on the right is, there was, I think, some leftover alcohol ink that I put down on the page. And alcohol ink is interesting that when you go over it with a gel pen, a white gel pen, it picks up those colors. And so I painted the page black and then did the gel pen, and then it picked up there's some orange and pink that it picked up, which is kind of cool. Nothing, sometimes underwater is a good thing. That was just threw down some paint, hated what was on the page before, painted over it, and I gave it some cool texture. Again, paint and doodles. Paint and doodles. Sometimes I incorporate my own poetry. This one says, "Autumn is the time to let go of what was and what might have been, to admire shades of golden leaves and skies of October blue. I leave summer behind but for a while, and embrace autumn's comfort and freedom to reflect on colors, reds, yellows, golden hosts, all of autumn's hues. As days become cooler and daylight predicts the darkness of winter, I focus on a grateful heart and live what I know to be true." Another abstract. You can see underneath there, it was sort of a doodle in progress. Sorry for the bump. So you can see kind of underneath. And I just didn't like it, so I painted over it and doodled it again. And I wrote another poem on this one. This is "The Art of Living, color becoming emotions, once held inside, now free to become joy. Light is the art of healing, emerging from hidden places, loss, grief, free, loss, grief, I don't know what that says, unearthed and replaced by love." More than just words. Again, these were inspired by Pivy at Peony and Parakeet. She's such a wonderful artist, and she just gets you thinking outside the box. Again, this was a doodle that I just didn't care for, so I painted over it and then I doodled over it again, and I think it turned out pretty cool. This one I actually had two different doodles side by side, and I didn't like them together, so I figured, what could I do to kind of make it cohesive? And so I just added an inclusion, and then this little pop of surprise, a colorful surprise in the middle. And then I stuck some alcohol ink prints in here. This one is, I don't know, that's just one of my favorites. I love it. If you can see just the beautiful colors that you get. It's always a surprise. You never know what you're going to get with alcohol ink. And this is, you can use Yupo paper, which is about 20, I don't know, I want to say around $13 for 10 sheets. Or you can use the back of Canon photograph paper. Not the front, not the glossy side, but the front. I mean the back side rather. And it's quite amazing. You get the same sort of effects. So that's an alcohol ink. Another alcohol ink. Just look at those colors. Love it. I just did a triptych of alcohol ink pieces and put it in a frame and donated it to a battered a domestic abuse survivor shelter, and they're having a fundraiser in November, so I donated that. Again, another abstract alcohol ink with, you can see the white gel pen over the top. Love, love, love that effect. Another just gel pen on paper. That is another alcohol ink painting. This time I used a gold gel pen. Sorry if these are reflecting too much. This one just says endurance is more than just giving up. Couple more alcohol ink pieces. Just love it. And this one, I often will get these sort of scenes that remind me of caves, and I think they're so cool. Love those reds and oranges. This one, I kind of plopped some paint down and then stuck the pages together, and it says the wonderful thing about art is that if you want to create a giant red butterfly feasting on the nectar of tiny purple flowers, that's just a couple more pieces. I like to cut these down and frame them, and then I participate in some art abandonment groups. And this one says, "We rise by lifting others," which I really think is true. I'm a big one paying it forward. That's a small alcohol ink one that's got some metallic ink in it. And this one just turned out really pretty. It's all in greens. You can see the doodling in the background. I have been doodling since before doodling was cool, and I don't want to step on any toes and make anybody mad, but back when we called it doodling and not something else. Another one, alcohol ink. I think that's so pretty. And again, you can see how the white gel pen picked up all those different colors. I gotta do me another one of those. That is just from a stencil that I was working on. Don't know where I'm gonna go with it, but look at that one. Not to toot my own horn, but that is just cool. That's all alcohol ink. And this one's another, I kind of was going through this sort of panel stage, and that's that, those zig color pens. Is your mind is a garden, your thoughts are seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Again, Pivy from Peony and Parakeet inspired piece. Just random doodles. Ooh, this was one too. Pivy from Peony and Parakeet. Just love it. I never would have attempted something like this until I took her class. I think it's just so pretty. Another one, Peony and Parakeet, Mucha inspired. These are little doodled pieces that you doodle on, you color, and you cut them out, and then you glue them on in random places. And this is inspired by the artist Mucha, or Muka, however you pronounce it. And this started out as a triptych of colored pencils, watercolors, and acrylic paints for the background. And then when I was going to take her class, I can't remember which one it was. Just look her up. She's fantastic. I thought, oh, I already have my background. She's got her colored pencil tutorial is really excellent. I had not used colored pencils all that much before taking her class, and she's just got some super great ideas. Yet another alcohol ink piece. Gold and silver. Random. White background doodle. This was one of the first ones I did from Peony and Parakeet. And I don't know what I used, but anyway, I scratched scratched some of the paint off. This was one I just did the other day. Alcohol ink. And a mop-up page that ended up with this flower right in the middle. Again, Pivy's class in Peony and Parakeet. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. This was such a fun piece to do. Never would have thought of it. Just fantastic. Regular plain old acrylic painting. I'd had a really good month in September. This one is funny. Again, Peony and Parakeet inspired, and the artist that she was inspired by is Friedrich Hunter-Twassen or something like that, and he does faces and paths and buildings. And so I had done the background at home, and then I completed the rest during my faculty in-service in August, which they know very well that I always have to be doodling when I'm sitting in meetings, and they're perfectly okay with it. Again, another alcohol ink piece, which, I don't know, I think that one's turned out pretty well. One that's like 10 feet tall, and it's the only one that blossomed. Another old Hunter-Twassen. I belong to a group called Photos for Artists, and the photographers donate their photos to inspire artists, and they're copyright free. They just ask that you credit the photographer for the inspiration, which is perfectly fine. Alcohol ink. This one's got a little copper colored alcohol ink in it, which is pretty. I don't know. I struggle with composition, I'm not gonna lie, but it's still fun. And one more that was from Photos for Artists as well. And I think, well, let's see. Oh, then this was the one I'm working on, a doodle that I'm working on that I'm going to color. And I think I have a couple more back here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Another one. I tend to doodle really fine, and I've kind of gotten into making them a little bigger, and I sort of like how that turns out. But then again, then I have something like this where it's just, sometimes I'm kind of paralyzed and I'm just sitting in my chair barely able to move. And this is